So how I became interested in epilepsy when I started to do basically my master degree in Italy. And I decided that it was very interesting in study electrophysiology. And I found this lab that was trying to understand the pathophysiological mechanism of epilepsy using electrophysiology. And so I started to do a thesis there, and I was quite intrigued by the pathology that was so complex and it was so is intrinsic with the excitability of the neurons. And so I decided to do a PhD on that. And then after my PhD on trying to understand a bit more the pathophysiological mechanism of epilepsy, I decided to try to basically use what I learned from this experience and trying to translate that to patients was my idea. So I moved to London in the Department of Clinical Experimental Epilepsy, and I started to work on developing novel therapies based on what I studied during my time studying pathophysiological mechanism of epilepsy, using those mechanisms to develop new therapies for epilepsy. So I cannot speak too much about diagnostic because obviously I'm more a basic scientist. So, but related to treatment, I believe that my country is very good to bring new therapies and novel treatment closer to the clinic. There is quite a lot of information on how to spin out a company from university. There is a lot of help to do that. There is a lot of investors interested in biotech and novel therapies, also for neurological disease and for epilepsy. And so I believe compared to other nations that I know of that have studied or have been there, I think that we are in a unique place also, as well as in the States, where there is a lot of effort, a lot of opportunity to really start from the bench and maybe arrive to the bedside. So this is, I think, the major good point about working in UK. A gap is complicated to find, and maybe diagnostic, but I'm not really too much on this side, so I really don't know too much of how the diagnostic. From the treatment point of view, I think that we are one of the best places where you can develop treatment. So the three major one is, I think that they should know that as the gene therapy that we are developing at the moment is targeting the symptoms of the seizures and is not targeting the cause, the etiology of the pathology. So actually can work for any etiology, so no matter what is the cause. And so I think that is something that the neurologists should know about that, because most of the time in neurology maybe thinks and that when you speak about gene therapy, you speak about correcting a mutation in the gene, but can means also that you can alter the genetic materials of the neurons and modify their property to stop the seizures. It's like an anti-epileptic drugs, but have the advantage that you can target a specific region of the brain or cell types. So you can treat, for example, focal epilepsies without the need to use a drug that affects all the brain. So it's taking out a lot of side effects. And so this comes to my second point of safety. We use adeno-associated viruses that are safe, and obviously the problem of virus injection is the immunological response, but the brain is immunoprivileged, so we didn't see too much immune response in the models that we use preclinically, and that's also in some human trials for other pathologies. So I think that it's important that they know that it's safe for the patients. And the third point that they should know that is linked to this one is that, for example, can be a good alternative for brain resection, brain surgery, when people have drug-resistant epilepsy, focal epilepsy that cannot be treated by any drugs. The option that they have is surgery. And some people can have surgery, it's feasible the surgery, and sometimes it's not. In that case, probably gene therapy is the only option. But also for people that have the possibility of surgery, there is an option, I think, for neurologists to think that we can treat with the gene therapy that part of the area that in theory has to be removed. And then we can see if we can stop the seizures, decrease the seizures, or rescue the behavioral defects as well, the comorbidity associated with the seizures. And then we still can decide if we want the surgery or not after that, right? So I think that it's important that it's known that there is always the safe net of the surgery, at least in the first set of patients. And I think that is something that, speaking also with the surgeon, is something that they are quite keen to try, because obviously surgery is quite a brutal techniques, because it's disruptive, it's taking out that part of the brain. So why we don't try to fix that part of the brain before getting out if it's not fixed properly?